they were very dominant. The way that they're drafting is actually pretty unique from other teams in the Philippines. That's
Considering the competition, the veterancy of their competitions on their side of the world, it's kind of crazy that they came up on top. With that being said, it is time to start our best of 3 series as we jump into the drafting phase to kick things off here at the M5 World Championship group stage. We've even got the graphic for it.
Oh, Yuzhong's been everywhere. From Kuala Lumpur down to Malaysia and here in Manila. Let's go!
Ooh, the hype is real. Okay, so AP Bren banning out the Bruno immediately.
Oh, they know about Stitch.
Yep, I would say that there are 2 big gold laners. That's Bruno as well as the 1-1. Bruno is like the easiest to kind of execute because in a way it kind of fits into any kind of lineup. 1-1 is a very strong hero though, given in the right conditions, but you kind of want to draft around it. You want to take care of it. Bruno is readily self-sufficient. It's a one-size-fits-all kind of marksman.
One of the things that I have been relatively curious of, especially once we're getting into the what we like to call tournament or international meta, is how we expect these things to evolve. We expect that these teams are going to be playing towards their identity for the group stage, but as soon as it's crunch time, I'm expecting them to adapt fast.
Phoveus, so it's either the 1-1 or the Nolan that Coach Ducky wants to pick up for their first pick, or Coach Bren, whoever is the drafter for the final decision for AP Bren. And why do I say that? Because they banned the Phoveus. And we know that they have the first pick. You have both the Nolan as well as the 1-1. And they kind of put Burmese Ghouls in a trap where they can only ban one of those 2 heroes.
Yep. They're basically open forting. It's do or die.
Yep.
Damn if you, damn if you don't. You let something through and you can only really do one thing, Lin Daddy. What's it gonna be?
Well, let's find out here. Coach Ducky is going to make the next ban actually happen, and it looks like they've already confirmed it. It's going to be Farmis. Rather interesting here. So we're already seeing setups for potentially Nolan, but I'm curious whether they want to go with something a little bit more flexible, because Gwen is still open, like we saw in the meta shift.
That's right. But then again, with this Farms, man, what this tells me is 1-1 as the first pick coming up from AP Bren. Why? Because you eliminate. It's not an actual counter to the 1-1, but it counters what 1-1 wants to do. That's why you cannot need to ban it out. There it is.
All right. It looks like the homework is working really well for the Burmese Ghouls as we see the first pick on the blue side for the side of AP Bren. I'm seeing Leo's got some ideas here.
So this goes tit for tat. One of them takes the Guinevere, the other takes the Nolan.
That's right. Yep. The prestige of Nolan is always in the first pick.
Right. Which do you prefer to see more for the side of AP? Personally, for me, I love seeing how they play Nolan, because not everybody can get away with it.
Yeah. Wow, that's a great question. Kind of makes me think, what if they swing it around and pick up the Arlot first? Because both Nolan as well as Guinevere are pretty strong heroes, but you kind of don't want to put it together. Because
it's like anti-synergy sort of situation.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair, at least we know that Flapteasy is at 100% win rate with the Arlet, so it is tried and tested.
Nolan, there it is.
First pick Nolan. It's been picked 5 times so far, 55% ban rate and 40% win rate, because not everybody here is capable of pulling this off.
It usually happens, right? An OP hero in an international tournament gets a very low win rate because everybody just picks it up. and some people like counter it. So you can still go Guinevere. I think it's best if Burmese Ghouls actually steal the Arlot, because it's a very strong hero for AP Bren, just because of the fact that it's a flexible pick.
That's right.
You can pick it as Rome, XP lane.
But considering what Leo said, tit for tat, I'm expecting at least maybe a Guinevere pickup as well.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
It could be an either-or situation, but I am curious about the supplementary hero that they're going to pair it up with, right? You see the Angela come through. That seems pretty good so far, but they're also going to get the Guinevere.
Oh,
okay.
I love it.
Right?
They're going for the basic tenets of what Nolan presents, right? I'm going to burst you down. How about I give you heroes that do not allow for that? You hide the Angela, you build full tank on the Guinevere. Bob's your uncle.
Man. Bob's your uncle. Dude, the cult of Nolan has been going strong for a long time, but at the very least, there are ways around it. And I'm hoping to see maybe Arlot actually come through for maybe AP Bren, so at least, you know, you don't disrupt the flow of the Nolan.
Maybe you pick up a marksman already, because you maybe get the Claude eventually for AP Bren, because you don't want to give that combo. Queen plus Angela with the Claude, it's pretty strong. So I'm thinking Arlot Claude. as the choices here for AP Bren.
Okay, Wolf locking in his predictions, and he's getting it right on the head. We see the Claude as well as the Arlet locked in. Man's at 100% so far. Let's see how long he can keep it up as we jump over to Burmese Ghouls on the red side. Any predictions for this one? Because so far, based on what I'm seeing, all right, we've got a little bit of pick off. We've got ways to kind of deny their opponents. It's not about counter drafting, it's denying picks.
Exactly. It's gonna be difficult because you might lose a lot of like marksman choices. So maybe you might be forced to pick up Irthel immediately for Burmese Ghouls or a Brody, which kind of speeds up your tempo.
Stitch has a solid Brody, and then it forces Super Marco to actually think about it. What do I pick? What's my battle spell? Because if you go into the lane, the Brody is capable of bullying you, especially when the Angela hits level 4. You win that fight almost 100%.
Oh, man, a lot of things to actually consider here, but Burmese Ghouls here to present a new problem. It's going to be the Brody. Nailed it on the head once again. We are on fire here, boys. Well, you guys are. I'm just kind of on the sidelines for now. Second phase is going to begin. The bans are going to be important. Mid lane still missing for the side of Burmese Ghouls, as well as AP Bren.
Okay, so you're going to be looking for perhaps some XP. Oh, actually, no. The lineup of AP Bren is pretty open. Like, you don't know the Arlet if it will be Roam, will be EXP.
I think it's the same way for the Burmese Ghouls.
That's
you don't know where that Angela's going.
Exactly. Although, I will say that at least for AP Bren, it's a lot more flexible in their particular situation, right? Because they don't have to compromise on a mid laner at the very least, which I think is going to be pretty important for few in this matchup.
Oh, check it out in the arena.
Maybe Valentina?
The team that the Burmese Ghouls beat to be here in M5.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mythic Seals.
It's Mythic Seals. That's Justin. Oh, my goodness. I mean, they've got to be here to watch this matchup, right? Got to get some information once we start moving out of those group stages. Kufra going to be the back for the side of Burmese Ghouls. That's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think teams are now putting Kufra on the list just because of the presence of Guinevere, so that you can dash out. And actually, what I noticed is that Kufra can be a hero that kind of tanks the Guinevere initiations. You can like you can catch it basically for your team, and then you also have a lot of synergy with Claude, for example, because the more people you lock down, the more Art of Thievery stacks and the Blazing Duet effectiveness there will be.
You can line them up.
Yep.
I mean, I'm looking for a set type of tank here for the side of AP Bren. I was thinking Kufra, Burmese Ghouls instantly cut it down, but it could go the opposite side as well. Like AP Bren does need some form of setting for somebody to go for the layup.
Yep. Look at that. The bands, the Minotaur, definitely an anti-Claude kind of hero, so they will just make sure that they secure at least the effectiveness coming out from the Claude. But I don't think that they will double down on roamer bans here for AP Bren.
Yeah, no, but just the same. Coach Ducky and the Coach Vren are actually respecting the fact that despite the Guinevere and the Angela coming out, which is a 100% win rate, by the way,
That was crazy.
Burmese Ghouls have a propensity to really lean hard on supports. So they're saying, you know what, even if there's already a heal here and a shield, they might even really just put the Angela in mid and pick up the Minotaur.
Yeah.
I mean, let's also not forget that Burmese Ghouls like to play around lane priority, making sure that they have control of the lane and get that first rotation. I'm thinking, you know, maybe even a first pick Brock here just to kind of supplement everything. You have a way to disengage, you have a way to start canceling abilities, and more so, even if the Arlet goes into the support section, hey, you can just face check him.
Yep. I wonder if Burmese Ghouls can play Benedetta or Khalid. Or did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, Khalid.
Of our good friend Yasu.
Sun rises when I give the word.
Spread out.
They know.
They know.
They know.
They know.
They're
Okay.
tapping into our comms, boys.
Yeah.
We gotta be careful here. We gotta be careful with our predictions. It feels like something else is going on, but for the time being, at least Burmese Ghouls will have first pick on that red side. Let's see what it's going to go for, right? Because at the end of the day, we still need to figure out where this Angela is going to go.
Will this be the tell?
If this, because it should be the tell, at least for. Well, if they pick up the EXP lane, you're still not sure.
Yeah.
No, so this is not a tell. Unless, obviously, we see a hard roamer, you know. But I think in Benedetta, actually, for Burmese Ghouls, because I kind of fairly remember it was in their region, they used that Benedetta a lot.
Carbon can. I think Carbon has a solid Benedetta.
I would put it past it for sure, but it looks like the next lock-in is going to be Ruby this time. I wanted to bring this up earlier, but I didn't know whether this was the right situation for it. I think this kind of, I don't want to say it works in the same way as Gruff, but at the very least, it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because we still don't know whether this is going to be going into the EXP lane or even in the support section.
Exactly.
But at the very least, it's great at catching heroes off. It's great at slowing down the clock. More importantly, anybody who's got a stun, I'll pull you away.
I know damn well where it's going.
Where?
This is a Blink special.
Okay.
He's got a pocket ruby.
Yep.
And for sure, it's going into the roam. So now we know this is a mid
I'm
Angela.
the priestess
Okay.
of primal lightning.
So that's Edith,
the hunter
I
of all
believe,
the evil
from
gods.
AP Bren. We still don't know where it will go. And I'm thinking like a Valentina or a Gord actually for AP Bren.
The falling stars
Lord, I think
rise
Valentina is
from
the safer
your
pick,
no,
right?
Varia. Okay.
So even more safe, right? Instead of making sure that Edith is the one opening up the map, you can do it yourself from a safe distance.
Oh, AP Bren has so many ways to engage. How much range and diversity do you want? Yes.
I think Burmese Ghouls can still pick up the Joyce band out, but something like a Lancelot perhaps or a
So you pull
Fanny
the
even.
a Lancelot Fanning, so you pull the switcheroo, you send the Guinevere or the Ruby into the XP?
Yeah, because you already have two ways to kind of check the bushes. We have the Guinevere, for example. You also have the Ruby. I think the Ruby is a nice touch coming out from Burmese Ghouls because it's technically anti-assassin if you think about it, because you can check the bushes and you can also lock him down with a combo. But that sounds like a Baksha actually.
Yeah, it looks like
Oh,
Locke is gonna be
Uranus.
Uranus this
Alright.
time round. Okay, so pretty
Wow.
standard overall. We got a sandbag up in the EXP for the side of Burmese Ghouls, and honestly, this is playing very much towards their style. Lane control, right? They needed a support that helps with that mid lane, and they've got exactly that on top of the fact that they've got the Uranus.
And we know where the damage is coming from. It's clearly coming from Stitch.
It's a lot of belief, a lot of faith in his consistency.
You know, I think I like the Uranus because there's no legitimate Uranus killer from the side of AP Bren. But at the same time, they are putting all of their damage eggs in the Stitch basket.
Exactly. It's
And then
all in Stitch.
It's all the Stitch.
It's all in Stitch.
Don't look at me with those eyes. You're gonna make me crack up. But so far, considering what the counter index is, it definitely feels like it's in one team's favor compared to the other. We're gonna go deeper into this topic as we start and initiate our very first match here in the Land of Dawn at the M5 World Championships. It's AP Bren up against the Burmese Ghouls.
Welcome to
Can't imagine that the early game should be the target here for at least for Burmese Ghouls. They want to secure this because they're rocking the Brody with the Angela. And I'm actually thinking like what should be the good vehicle for the Angela. Obviously you want to do it with the Gwyn, but at the same time the Gwyn is more of a very committal or it's like a kiting kind of hero where you commit your ultimate to get out. You don't really necessarily stay in front. So maybe it's the Brody that should be the vehicle now for Burmese Ghouls because at least you will maximize the effect of the Angela on this Brody.
I mean, from the way that I see it, early flicker coming out from Blink X just for Litho Wanderer. It's not going to be a big deal for now. He's not going to reach level 4 in time for the upcoming turtle, but at the very least, we know where Burmese Ghouls are going to be leaning towards on the map.
Something is bothering me. The fact that AP Bren are investing in Wilderness Blessing, they're going to have so much faster rotations, and that's going to exacerbate the fact that they have so much range. That's going to be another problem that the Burmese Ghouls have to deal with.
I mean, it's one of those situations. We even saw this during the wildcards that a majority of teams towards the last few days started switching over to Wilderness for a Blessing because it just shows how important it is to win out these neutral fights.
Oh, wow. Nico can't even catch a break. Ogwin and Kyle steal away his small camp.
Okay. Now, this means that AP Bren are in a very comfortable spot because I think that they have the better late game. They have the Varia as well as the Pod. Very strong in the latter portions of the game. And the fact that they are not getting invaded by Burmese Ghouls, especially this Nolan, I think this is a good sign. But obviously, everything will change come the first turtle fight.
And then we cut to Flapteezy, who has to deal with this Uranus, and all he's thinking of is just like, get me out of this lane, please. Let me team fight.
Phew, come on over. They do set up for the first turtle. It's Nico first to the scene, pulling it over to their side. Turtle less than half health here. Carbon drawing a line between them and AP Bren. Here we go. Kyle Teasy comes in with the steal. And now Carbon gets Lina in him. Heartguard committed in already. Putting staff at the Ionic Edge. Blink X getting put into position with the final slash. Burmese Ghouls call out back.
Rather interesting. I mean, I wouldn't have expected. I mean, for the side of Burmese Ghouls, you're expecting the traditional, oh, I'm just going to look for someone to hard guard, we're going to go in, we're going to look for a pick, and then we're going to get back out of there. But I think Burmese Ghouls played that very, very well.
The TZ's down bottom. All right, Carbon's not going anywhere.
I'm actually very surprised about AP Bren. I think I will review their early game rotations because, my oh my, how did CalTC get level 5, almost level 6 before the turtle happened? 2 minutes to 13, he's already he's just a quarter of XP away from getting into level 6. That's crazy. That's why they were able to steal it, because they have the superior levels and the retribution.
I mean, let's not forget that when you are playing Nolan, your clear speed is rather fast.
True.
Like, have you ever seen Novarius just get frustrated? They know when they expect purple buff timings to die, and then Nolan's like walking through the mid lane. He's like, "What are you looking at? What are you shooting at?"
I'm done.
I'm gone.
It's over. I'm over here now. Right? You could have sworn he's a time traveler.
Exactly.
Oh, it
wow,
is.
Hunter's Strike already completed.
Man, I wonder when, I think, especially with the trajectory that you're seeing from CalTZ, the way that he's farming 2.4k at 3 minutes, this is Oppenheimer levels of explosions as we're going to see later on.
That's historic.
It is historic. But I think more importantly, wow, actually Flap having a considerable EXP lead against Carbon so far, despite getting proxied, despite having to join the fight a little bit later.
Yep. And I think that was the one bastion that Burmese Ghouls can have, that little sanctuary that, hey, at least Carbon's winning his lane. And now they're switching it over. I think they need a little bit more XP on Lina.
Where can they actually go with this? Especially since Kyle, he's not letting Nico have a good time.
Whoa! Comes in with the Requiem. Did Kyle TT steal? Oh, he did!
He did.
Nico hesitated on the retry.
But this means that he has the retribution for the turtle.
That's right. Coming in. This is about to blow up. Lord here, approaching half health. In comes Flap TZ. Stitch coming in from the side, dealing damage. Nico holding his retry strong, and they go get it. That's one turtle apiece for both BG and AP Bren.
I love the decision making coming in from the side of AP Bren. They understood the assignment, they recognized the situation wasn't their favor.
Whoa!
And Lina is going to be first blood for the side of AP Bren!
That was quick.
That was the one thing that you gotta do, hide the Angela from the Nolan. Yeah. And Kyle found him.
I mean, we're talking about hustle. This man doesn't stop making good decisions. Yeah. They pushed out. The mid lane is already chunked down to 10%. He even gets first blood down on that bottom side. He is active.
Yeah, you can see Ogwen already positioning himself to defend the Super Marco. Now AP Brent can leave the Nolan just, you know, roaming around. It's far too farmed. Even when he didn't get the second turtle, because of the amount of farm and the first blood that he was able to get and the number of creeps, jungle creeps that he was able to take away from Nico, look at him. He is level 10 compared to a level 8 Guinevere.
He's always doing something. And he knows that this is the right thing to do against Burmese Ghouls, who are an initiative-based team. They want to be able to do the thing one after the other. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's up to their timing. But right now, it's Burmese Ghouls who's following AP Bren's flow.
I would have considered that maybe the Burmese Ghouls were going to start getting some momentum during the mid-game, but right now, just the raw smothering coming out from Kyle TZ alone, and the supplement of these fast rotations, making it really tough for Burmese Ghouls to find holes.
And Guinevere is a jungler that you can count as a utility, but it still is purple buff dependent. So it's a very unique situation. Yeah, surely Guinevere is a pretty strong jungler now, but she's both farm dependent as well as utility, which is usually you can see only one or the other. But because of the fact that all of the purple buffs were taken away from him, Nico is going to have a very bad time in the mid game.
Well, speaking of which, I mean, we were looking at mid lane Carbon. Might just get caught out here.
Coming in, the conceal committed, final slash. Carbon gets a heart guard in him. Lina to the rescue. This Uranus ain't going anywhere. Blink holding this pixel brush, spotted by the Astral Echoes. Turtle getting beaten down. Burmese Ghouls pushing forward. Flap easy from the back, looking for an angle. Nico wants to get it. Retribution is good. Nico scores it, and down goes Lina. That's a blazing duet considerably, dealing a lot of damage early on. Blink goes down. Ogwen gets the kill. Ogwen still staying in the vicinity. Carbon goes 3-0. AP Bren 3K ahead.
Man, that was such a clean fight coming in from AP Bren. I mean, at the end of the day, Burmese Ghouls got the neutral objective, but at what cost?
They will eventually get their orange buff, I believe, Nico. And Stitch stayed alive. So those are just some consolation prizes for Burmese Ghouls, but Gideon painted it well. It was a perfect team fight coming up from AP Bren. They abused the fact that Burmese Ghouls needs to get in and get out. It's like a kiting kind of a teamfight formation for Burmese Ghouls, and we are going to see it through the replay. A little bit of a clash happening down. We'll see later. Look at that beautiful retribution, but after the initiation coming out from Nico, there's no follow-up because Stitch was zoned out by two members of AP Bren. Yeah, surely the Brody didn't die, but he didn't fulfill his job,
He didn't
basically.
get to do the thing.
Which you need to do it as the Brody in the early game.
Oh, it's tough. Coming
okay.
in. Got the stacks in. Not going to commit everything. Burmese Ghouls playing with the range. And I think that's what also helped AP Bren win that perfect team fight, as you gentlemen were saying. They have so much range, they have so much diverse initiations that it spaces out Stitch.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, Nico didn't have his ult to actually follow up and start a new fight, but in the meantime, at least they got a shutdown on towards Kyle Teasy at the attempt of attacking that purple buff side from Burmese Ghouls. At the very least, we're seeing that Burmese Ghouls are scaling, right? 2 items already completed for the side of Brody, maybe a 3rd one on the way, and at this point, it's starting to get real dangerous, especially when you see Brody nearby.
Okay, not only for AP Bren, but at the same time, Burmese Ghouls, if they just realize that this is actually their power spike, they need to make the moves now. Fortunately, they have this Uranus that can actually be the vision provider around the Lord area. And the fact that they have taken out the turtles rather quickly, this means that the Lord is spawning also rather early.
Oh, and AP Bren know that this timing is key. Blink looking to get into that. Because AP Bren, they have the advantage coming in. They catch one. Ogwin in the skies. Carbon gets his eyes on him. I'm offended. They're trying to burst down the roamer. They're trying to take down Edith. And the Lord gets reset. AP Bren calling it off.
I like this plan a lot, honestly.
Oh! Final slash coming in. Carbon, he's in jeopardy. Gets the Heart Guard in just in the right time. 5th of his health coming back up, down to half. Nico commits. Both teams playing footsies, dancing around the Lord. And oh, so many ults spent from both sides, but neither have the advantage. Ogwin gets the Earth Shatter. Lord at half health, pulled just about an inch out, gets another reset. Stitch, a 1/3 of his health left. Not a good fight.
Wow, the first reset was great from AP Bren. I think it was very smart. The second reset is weird, but now Burmese Ghouls, they reset because they know that their lanes are in their favor.
I mean, they found it. It might even get picked.
Blink, gets spotted, gets bursted down. Super Marco gets the kill, and they're still going. Carbon keeping up, playing footsies with 3. In goes the old count. Easy gets the Lord. This should be a retreat from the Burmese Ghouls, and they get sent down into the ground, but not for long because Carbon's still alive. Gets taken down. Stitch as well in the back line. Few gets him. Flapped Easy punished by Lena, but it's just too little too late.
Whew, what a great bait coming in from Super Marco to actually force in one more kill from the side of the Burmese Ghouls. He was playing on a fine line.
What a reset coming out from AP Bren. At first glance, you would think that the second reset was weird, but then if you look at the map, the lanes are going to be pressured against Burmese Ghouls side, and that meant that Burmese Ghouls needed to disperse. And then AP Bren also took advantage of the massive XP difference. Kaltisi was level 14, while Nico was just level 11 during that Lord fight, and there was really no chance. And despite that gap, they still managed to find Nico with the knockup coming out from Ogwin, making it a no contest at all. For the Retribution battle, AP Bren with a massive Lord dance.
I mean, the crazy part about it all is the fact that AP Bren gives so much respect. Oh, he's fine, but oh, wait.
Got the Purify in. Big fight coming up. Final slash puts Nico right under the ground, taking a dirt nap while the rest of AP Bren destroy that inhibitor up top. They're moving along. Lord's still standing.
I'm telling you, AP Bren are playing so respectful. I feel like in these types of situations with this kind of a lead, they start getting right up into your face. But against Burmese Ghouls, they're forcing out resources. They're starving them out.
They're trying to burst down Stitch in the middle of their base. Oh, there's an onward. Carbon gets sent into the skies. Heart Guard into him. Super Marco still barreling away. Blink looking for the pull. Still does not have the ult. Easy down. Torn apart memory, tearing him in half. Super Marco very low. Carbon still alive. 1/10 of his health. Oh, he goes. Few takes him down. 1 for 1.
Oh man, the few just literally showed how much gold they have when it comes to advantage. That's just skill number 2, and he gets so much damage with the Impure Rage against the Uranus. And I believe that Carbon is not yet that farmed, especially because he's struggling. I mean, like, he needed to secure the front lines for the team. That meant that a lot of farm might have been taken away from him. In fact, he's just 6.3K compared to Few 7.7K with the Ice Queen 1 as well as the Truncheon and the Arcane Boots. That meant that Few's damage at this point, 12 minutes into the game, his scaling was what? It was quickened.
This is difficult because we're looking at what, 13 minutes in, right? Starting at the 6 or 7 minute mark, AP Bren has flexed their range diversity. And so far, Burmese Ghouls, we called it in the draft, right? They're really only relying on Stitch. And there's only one way to go about this. They've been trying to put some damage on Carbon with the Heart Guard, and now they're forced to do it. Oh, in a defensive manner, Stitch gets the Heart Guard on him, and they're gonna burst him down. Stitch goes, the first casualty. Now Blink, Super Marco blasting him, point blank survives, but only for a second more as Super Marco still eventually gets his man. Nico in the back line trying to take down Slap Teasy, gets him. 2 for 1 the trade so far. Burmese Ghouls back inside their own base. It's Lena and Carbon defending.
I mean, when does this team stop, right? Carbon, he's gone. There's nothing he can do about this. They're looking for the end.
Oh no, the base is up next. That's a double kill for Marco. AP Bren welcome the Burmese Ghouls with a victory. Game 1.
Woo, what a game secure coming in for the side of AP Bren. Like, initially it was a back and forth, and then all of a sudden, you feel the growing snowball. You feel the way that they are just smothering you each and every attempt that you make.
No, that was a curious decision to go for this kind of composition, but at the same time, it feels like Bren Esports have mastered Nolan, and he's the guy, our MVP. Few himself on point. Actually, he didn't die in this game. 3-0-6 and a very nice kill participation. Even had the Purify. I don't think that he ever had to use it.
Oh, he did. There was this one moment like, oh, how'd they get in? Oh, all right, he's fine.
Yeah,
he's fine. I mean, our MVP of the game given over to Few, brought to you by the Republic of Gamers. Let's have a look at the highlights and walk us through the timeline here, Wolf, because this is awkward. From the highlights brought to you by Grab Unlimited, it felt like there were moments that Burmese Ghouls had an opportunity, but still smothered by AP Bren around these neutrals.
Exactly. Look at how Stitch was zoned out by 2 members of AP Bren, with Few being so difficult to deal with. And then that's left with Nico catching 2 members of AP Bren, but didn't have the follow-up. They didn't have the damage afterwards. And then Nico tried to counter Kyle TZ. I believe that Kyle TZ will be taken out this time. But at this point, like, the idea for AP Bren is to just take control. And this is another one of those chokeholds where they were able to find Blink, but they will reset the Lord because they know that Burmese Ghouls needed to take care of the minions first. And now there's a massive disadvantage. Look at Few. Watch out for Few. Landing the skill 2. And then, obviously, actually the Astral Sphere didn't need to land because of the Final Slash just getting more damage for Novaria's skill 2.
I mean, it's just raw confidence, right? A lot of trust in teammates there's being put on display here in the game number 1. But I think especially for the Burmese Ghouls, right, it felt like they never got on the same tempo. And especially with the way that Few opens up the map, they know exactly at what timing they're looking to play around.
That was the moment that Few had to use his Purify.
It's a tough matchup. I think that right now, if we're thinking for potential adjustments as we start looking at these items here, it's something to consider. Maybe we're looking for something a little bit more, not so tempo-based, that you can play off-tempo sometimes to really get under the skin of AP Bren.
And some junglers do not put a lot of emphasis on the Season Hunter, but you see how well used it is for the Nolan, how fast he was able to get those jungle creeps, able to get to almost level 6, 3/4 experience to level 6 at 2 minutes and 13 seconds. I think that should be the fastest jungling that I've ever seen, at least this year, right? Year 2023. That is very, very quick. And in fact, all they needed to do was to drive by the turtle, snatch that turtle number 1 against Nico, and then he basically set up his own home at the jungle of Burmese Ghouls afterwards.
I live here now.
Exactly. That's his address.
My creeps.
Somebody check Kyle TZ's address. It's Burmese Ghouls jungle for sure.
Oh man, I hope that's not going to be the case for game number 2, because I mean, considering the items that he built as well, Hunter Strike first item, he's looking to be fast and quick. He's not looking to high burst someone just yet until later on. But as we see the rich guy coming in for Super Marco, I thought that he was going to have a tougher time in his lane. He played it well. Let's not forget about the carry coming here from Few. Big damage coming in these team fights, and also as a way to help the team make good decisions to punish Carbon.
Yeah. And the fact that you are Novaria at 12 minutes, I believe, typically you become the MVP if you're Novaria, if the game lasts so long, you deal 130 damage, but few being 1,000 gold richer than the enemy XP lane, that speaks a lot on how on point Few was in this game. 69% kill participation, and it was Super Marco. Interestingly, that was part of majority of AP Bren's wins, and it's surprising to see AP Bren's composition with Novaria and Claude being high when it comes to like their kill participation, because typically these two heroes farm a lot.
Yeah, no, it was assisted. It was ramped up there. It was expedited. I think
Yeah.
Gideon mentioned that halfway through that, nope, it's much faster now. We're getting here because of how proactive AP Bren is.
Yep.
And look at this. This is a clear telltale sign that Burmese Ghouls have a dilemma. Their most damage taken and dealt are coming from Carbon.
Yeah.
It became